Hello everyone, Merry Christmas. It's Christmas 2022 and we are in Morro Bay at the state park. We're up here visiting my fiance's family, and we decided we would have a little gathering at the campsite last night. So we set up the annex room. So this is the first time I think anyone has videotaped the annex room for YouTube. I've not seen one, and I've seen most of the Bushwakka videos up to this point. So I thought I would take this opportunity to show those potential Bushwakka customers what it looks like when it's set up, and talk a little bit about what the setup process is like. I've not set up the annex room too many times, so it has, I'm getting better at it, and I've learned a few things. It's really a two-person process, so if you do have somebody helping you out, it's quite a lot easier, and it can be done pretty quickly. Also, I remarked the numbers for the panels just so they're easier to identify. The factory puts very small numbers on them with a Sharpie, and when you're pulling them out of the bag, it's hard to keep track of which one's which. So I put larger numbers on there with a Sharpie just so it's a little easier to identify those panels when they're ready to be set up. But let me show you a little bit about what the setup process is looking like, and then I'll run in some video of what it looks like when it's all set up. So these panels, when you are putting them together, you can see you have this little you start the zipper here, and you see I've run it all the way down, of course, and zipped it down. The only difficult part really is starting the zip, because when you pull these two panels together, you're putting this little piece into here, and then you're trying to pull the zipper down, and these panels kind of gap apart here. So the trick is, that I learned, is all you need is, if it's a two-person process, if you have one person sort of holding the zipper and pulling on this tab to get it started, another person kind of pinching it together just to get it past this little bend here. And once you get past this bend, zip, it zips right down. So if you have two people working together, you can get each zipper started within a few seconds, zip on the panels on pretty quickly. And that issue of getting those zippers started, going past these little bends, is here on every corner. You can see the same thing on this zipper as well. So every single zipper requires that a little additional help from somebody to get it going. I really was struggling as a single, one person doing it, but once I got somebody to just get their hands up there pulling the zipper together, boom, it went pretty quickly. All right, so the other part that sometimes needs a little bit of help is that you're going to feed your panel through this little channel here. You can see there's this little kind of bead to it here. You can see it's got like a rope here, and then you feed it through here, and then you feed it all the way along to the end, okay? And you really need two people, because you need one person feeding it in from this end, and then one person pulling it across from this end. And if you have two people working together, it's really a piece of cake. But if you're trying to do it yourself, it's really quite difficult. So it's actually not difficult at all if you've got two people helping you. And then the one last thing I'll show you is, normally when I put the awnings up, I've gone with this yellow rope. So I just put a little a pull tie here. It's just a lot easier getting the ropes up than using the ratchet strap. But I realized when you're putting the walls up for the awning, you have to pull it a little tighter so that this panel here will fit. So I had to add the ratchet strap here to my normal setup with the rope to just pull it closer together, because I wasn't able to get enough tension on the rope to bring it close enough together for this last panel to fit. So that's another thing you have to keep in mind. If you've gone like I have to a much quicker setup, when you're not using the walls, using this kind of rope setup where it just pulls tight, that's usually good enough for the for setting up the awnings. But if you want to put the walls up, you're going to have to crank it closed a little bit. So I had to use a ratchet strap that I had in the Jeep to bring that a little closer. So that's one other little bit of advice, that if you are going to use the walls, you got to make sure you bring those together with the ratchet strap so you can fit this final panel on here when you are setting up the annex room. All right, so I hope you liked that little walk around of the annex room and what it looks like, and hopefully a couple of those tips and tricks will help you to get your annex room set up a little more easily. I've done it now a couple times, and it's getting much easier every time I do it. So a few little tips and tricks might help you going forward. So have a Merry Christmas, happy 2023. And of course, if you're watching this video at another time, have a pleasant afternoon, and we'll try to come back with when I've got some interesting things to show you from the Bushwakka Bhoma.